All right, I'm here with Kings Fork head football coach Anthony Joffrion. His Bulldogs win with Florida tonight over the Oscar Smith Tigers, 21 to I think it was 19. The final, coach. Yes, it was a head-spinning finish for you. And what can you say about how your kids persevered through this, whether it be the offensive line, the defensive line, Kayvon Blennon with the game-sealing pick, and then your workhorse running the football tonight, Javon Ford, 44 rushes, 235 yards. Got to think those are career highs with 3 touchdown runs, and he was just a beast in this ball game tonight against a big-time team.
Yeah, Javon Ford did a great job, man. He got the yards when we really needed it. You know, in the fourth quarter, we were trying to run the clock, and he just did a great job of maintaining his runs and just getting it done. Then he was actually out for 2 plays, and then Bubba Anderson goes in there and rips off 2 long runs. So I think, the weather, we had adversity, just a lot of different things were going on. We had the lights cut out before the game. So it was just a lot of stuff that we were battling, and our kids just found a way to overcome it. And, I'm just really proud of them. I'm proud of the community. They came out and supported tonight in the rain, so it's a big win, but, our goal isn't, to beat Oscar Smith, but it was, it's a really good win.
2 moments stuck out to me for Ford tonight. Besides his 35-yard scamper, his 17-yard burst, his 3 touchdowns, there was a play on 3rd and 1 where he looked like he got bottled up. Somehow up the middle against that Tigers defense, he wiggled out to the outside. And then there was also, you mentioned, he comes off for a couple plays. I mean, you think with 40-plus carries he'd be done, and he's like, no, I refuse to go out. He wanted this one bad than I did.
Yeah, exactly, man. When we beat Oscar Smith, I want to say he was like in 6th grade. He was probably a kid in the stands. So it really meant a lot to him, for us to take the next step as a football program. I feel like we don't really get a lot of respect, even though we've only lost like 5 games in 3 seasons. Ever since, since I've been the head coach here, we've always won 10 games. We've done a really good job. But the one hurdle we haven't gotten over is Oscar Smith. So I think it's just big for our program, big for our school to finally get over that Oscar Smith hurdle. And hopefully, we're going to finish these next 2 games, and we'll be the first team in school history to be 10-0 and win the district outright, which hasn't been done, since, I want to believe, Indian River.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Someone not named Oscar Smith to do that. Well, exactly. This meant something to the kids to beat them, and it felt like the beginning of this game was starting off the way last year's game did, where you're driving, self-inflicted wounds, penalties, they get a takeaway. Is that just a maturity of these kids kind of stepping up to the plate and wanting it so bad after last year, knowing you could have beaten them and you outgained them, but tonight you kind of showed some of that growth?
Yeah, I think last year the kids made the moment too big, and I think I did as a coach. Just turned 30, so I'm young. I'm still learning. So for this game, our biggest focus was just don't beat ourselves, and let's just play football. Let's play our brand of football. And I want to say that first series on defense, even on offense, just getting a lot of penalties on defense. They score, 3 plays? So our kids just had to settle down. Coaches had to settle down. And I think we just did a great job of that. Just, not making the moment too big.
What's going through your mind when they strike for that big play, the long touchdown pass, 81 yards from Lonnie Andrews, the third, a freshman, to their sophomore, Travis Johnson, who you bottled up all night long except that play, which he can burn you, right?
Yeah, so, Lonnie Andrews, that kid is special, man. He's scrambling out the pocket, throwing it 50 yards to Travis Johnson, who's just running behind people. Those 2 are very special talents. But when he scored that touchdown, all I was thinking was Javon Ford run this football. That's all I was thinking. Don't turn the ball over.
Kind of like watching Jags Saints last night, right?
Exactly. I'm like, just give Javon Ford the football and let's milk this clock. Yeah. And I think, kudos to the offensive line. They did a great job. Coach Gale coaches them, and they've kind of taken on the identity of just being a rough-nosed group.
Mm-hmm. And I know Javon's always going to give credit to his guys in front of the block for him. Last 2 for you. Okay, you see the big plays from Ford, Johnson, quarterback. Your quarterback's underrated, I think. Just a 10th grader. Tonight his efficiency, DeAndre Artis-Boone, 14 of 18, 95 yards. The yards aren't maybe there. It's so spectacular, but he didn't make a lot of mistakes, and he got it to some key receivers on some 3rd down plays, whether it be Denosh Rogers, Jamel Mackey, and other guys stepped up. I believe Darrell Wilson as well.
Yeah, so he's he's a Suffolk kid. He's been in the program since 8th grade. He was when I first got here, he was actually our starting JV quarterback in 8th grade, and he's just been a part of the program. I used to take the kid home every day for about a year. Just to kind of build that relationship with him. So I have a huge trust in him as a sophomore, and he's just very mature for his age. He doesn't act like typical sophomores. He goes to class on time. He gets really good at grade. His teachers love him. He's really a guy that you want to be your quarterback. He's very smart at the end of the game. We're telling him, hey, chew the clock. He's just laughing at me like I'm going to look at the back judge, watch him take it down. So he's just very mature, and he's just beyond his years.
Lastly, you mentioned that you're a young coach, and how much have you and your coaches and players aged, though, with these heart-stopping finishes, double overtime Indian River, double overtime Nance River tonight? It's a close ball game. It has to help in a lot of ways and propel you as you go into this playoff gauntlet where you've gotten 5B.
Yes.
You're undefeated. Warwick's undefeated. Maury's undefeated. A lot of really good teams.
Yes. Yeah, I think it prepares us because we know if the game is close, we can still be in it. Teams I've coached in the past, like we would go through the whole season and never be behind, or never have to make a drive to win it. And I want to say we've never won a game before this season when we were behind and had to find a way to win. Besides last year in the playoffs when DeAndre had to start as a freshman. So we've just found ways to win. I just think the off season, we got really good coaches. Larray Kendrick, is an offensive coordinator. He played quarterback here. Casey Turner, he's one of the best passers in the state history. Marty Asper, he was the head coach at Grassfield. Jamonte Jackson. We just have really great coaches, and they're selfless. I know I'm a younger guy, but we all just want to see the kids be successful, and I think that's what makes our coaching staff special and our kids. We all buy into it.
Well, the rain or the Tigers could stop the bite of the Bulldogs. Thank you so much. All the best.
Oh, that was a good one. Congrats.